Welcome to tea day 3, when we get to add color. You'll want to pick out a selection of colors to use for the leaves, colors that can be blended together to give dimension and interest, and also a selection of colors to use for the letter and the shadows within the letter. I've chosen to use a selection of blues and purples for the letter itself, and then some greens with a little bit of brown and this reddish sort of color for the leaves. We'll start off with the leaves. You can choose to start with the letter if you'd like, but I like to start with the leaves just because I know it's going to be lighter than the letter. So if I go too far with the leaves, I can always touch it up when I'm going in and creating the letter. Starting with your lighter color, add color to your leaves. And we're going to come back and blend it out. So you don't even want to color the whole thing in, nor do you want to color all of the leaves. Just go through and color a few of them in those different sections. And then use your other light color to go in and get some of those other leaves. You can even start to combine on the leaves that you've already added the light color to, just to help tie it all together. See right there, I went into the tea, but because this is the lighter color, I'm not too worried about it. I can go in and touch it up afterwards. We're moving on to our next darkest color. Start to build up a little bit of color, mostly along the edges, and then you can go back in with your lighter one and blend that out. This will help give you some of that dimension that will really make this look real and pop. I usually like to do this with both the pens uncapped, so you're not constantly having to cap and uncap your pens. And as long as you're doing this quickly, you don't have to worry about that damaging your Crayolas. I mean, especially since they're Crayolas, think of the clientele, tiny humans who probably leave these uncapped quite often. Now, if you want to take it a little bit further still, you can push it with some darker greens. Again, just sort of right along a few of those edges there, and then blend that in with that lighter color again. Just using tiny circles to spread the ink color around. Try something brave, make it a little bit more fall-esque by adding in the brown and maroon. Or you can just leave it with greens too. That would definitely be a beautiful option. Just remember as you add your colors to go through and blend them out, and that will help make it all work together. Next, we'll go in and color in the letter. The lightest color goes on the front or top parts of the tea. Remember to test out your color just to make sure that it's perfect, and turn your paper as needed so that you can get nice clean edges. Now the darker version of the same color, so a darker shade of blue in my case, is what you color on the inset portion, and then the purple or black or gray or whatever you choose to use is what goes on those shadows. This is just like what we did back when we did our eye, letter I, not coloring on our eyeballs. Though that would probably be something my children would try. So that T down deep. And then the shadow, remember you want 2 colors of shadow, one for the side shadows and one for the horizontal shadows. Side shadows are the lighter color. And then under shadows, like bags under your eyes, are the darker color. Now when you're doing this and you get to the leaves, pay attention to which leaves should be on top and which leaves are poking out from behind. You also want to make sure that the ones that are poking out from behind, you still have that crisp, perfect line of the T, so that there's no confusion that the T is on top. The leaves wouldn't be wrapping around. And there's our T. It's even more dramatic than when it was just the eye. We've now added this element going over top, tucking underneath, and you might notice that this leaf went in and missed. You can always go back in with your green and just touch it up. I hope that this has inspired you to not only doodle some letters, but also add some tiny little illustrations in there as well.